Welcome back, y'all, to the American Echoes podcast. How many of you have felt like this country doesn't feel like the same country you learned about in school? Like its ideals of freedom, moral rights, and liberty just aren't there anymore. I want to go back in time and not think about today, back when America still had these ideals. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful speeches in American history, John F. Kennedy's 1961 inaugural address. I take it not many of y'all have heard the address. Well, you should, but after this video. I know I haven't until like last week. But hearing this message just made me feel a certain way. During the time of this speech, the world was tense, the Cold War was bubbling up, America was recovering from a recession, but Kennedy stood at the Capitol about to give one of the most famous calls of action in American history, not just to the nation, but to the world as a whole. Kennedy was ready to take up the responsibility of a battle given to him by the nation's forefathers, a fight for peace, unity, and a nation proud.
Vice President Johnson, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chief Justice, President Eisenhower, Vice President Nixon, President Truman, Reverend clergy, fellow citizens.
He starts off the speech by addressing officials at the ceremony. Now, addressing people has been a pattern since George Washington, but you guys are going to see my neurodivergent tendencies for just a second. But hearing it in Kennedy's speech sounds to me very intentional. It follows the core message of his address. It's his passing of a torch. That day, he became president after a long line of presidencies. But his message has been passed down since the infancy of America. This opener was popularized by him and mirrored today. But not just this opener stays around. Kennedy shaped the vocabulary of what it means to be American by giving amazing rhetoric, a powerful message of how we should uphold ourselves as a country, and banger quotes that leave you feeling moved. This nation was tired of conflict, tired of significant poverty, tired of recession. Division was heavy across the people, and the rights of citizens were being infringed. This is starting to sound really familiar. Unfortunately, the best Kennedy was around back then. I'm sorry, RFK, but you're not it. JFK inspired the people and aimed for unity and prosperity across the globe. In his address, he spoke for human rights and freedom, like America desires, as a command from God. And every citizen of America and the world should do all they can to fight for liberty across the globe. He makes these ideals sound like it's the most ultimate necessity for our world, that any sacrifice should be made and any battle should be fought for it. One of his first lines is, "For a man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life." Kennedy was wishing to reduce the weapons in the world. There was high tensions from the Cold War, and he wanted to negotiate as a civil country for the reduction of nuclear weapons. After his speech in 1963, he signed the Limited Test Ban Treaty with the Soviet Union and Berlin, which it stopped nuclear bombs from being tested underwater, in the atmosphere, and in the ocean, and that stopped lots of radiation from this road. He follows up in his speech by saying the rights of man that the founding fathers were fighting for are still things that we should fight for then and today and every day as a nation. Those issues may still be around, as he said in this clip.
All this will not be finished in the first 100 days, nor will it be finished in the first 1,000 days, nor in the life of this administration, nor even perhaps in our lifetime on this planet. But let us begin.
He describes what he is doing as a peaceful revolution. With a unified nation allied to those who seek freedom, he says to those who are enemies of freedom, those who sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside. Kennedy says we should fight for human rights because it is the right thing to do, not because he wants votes, not because the communists are doing it, but because it is the right thing to do. And he assures his heavily Christian audience that even as a Catholic, he shares the same values that they share from God, stating that he will follow the command of the prophet Isaiah to bring good morals to the road. He wraps up his speech by showing that the liberties we fight for have always been fought for by the children of America. And that's the thing. We're children of America. We inherited the duty to demolish poverty, keep human rights and peace across the globe, and maintain ourselves as a nation proud by our actions and good morals. Kennedy emphasizes the government cannot solve all our problems, but we can as a unified people. Kennedy says, ask of us the same high standards which we ask of you, because we shall all keep these standards as if we are the actors of God's will. That's what this speech is about. It's about being proud of ourselves as a nation, as a country, as a people, and proud by our actions. A nation where we ask ourselves, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.